They came in peace, or so they claimed. Their ships were polished silver, smooth, gliding over Earth's skies like falling feathers. No weapons showed, no armies landed, just emissaries. And a soft voice, broadcast across every nation in every language. We are the Vankari. We come in respect, and we request a gift, the ones you call your young. The world froze. The Vankari did not threaten. They did not demand. But their message was clear. They expected surrender, expected reverence, expected Earth to obey, just as 100 other species had before. Their offer? A promise. We will elevate them. They will see stars you cannot imagine. They will live forever and forget the burden of your dying world. For a moment, it almost worked. Some leaders hesitated. Some people, desperate, poor, aching from war and hunger, considered the deal. But others remembered history, and Earth's answer was silence. At first, because we didn't fire. Not yet. Not when they floated above our cities like gods. Not when they smiled with those flat, too-wide eyes and handed us gold-scripted contracts we couldn't read. Not even when they opened their collection centers in 5 continents, surrounded by shimmer fields and robotic guards. Not when the first 10,000 children vanished. No. We waited. We buried the screams in data centers and polite diplomatic replies. We studied their gates, their carriers, their language, their rituals. We opened our doors and watched. And those of us who remember the old wars, who knew what it felt like to lose a child and hold a rifle, we gathered, quietly, without flags, without broadcasts. Among them was Mara Lin, a mother of one. Her son, Eli, had been taken in the first wave. She didn't cry. She enlisted. Not in an army, not in any known force. She joined something older, something Earth's enemies had hoped was extinct. Project Revenant, not spoken of, not found in files, just a shadow under the skin of the world. Task force built not for diplomacy, but for reclamation, for retribution. On the 40th day of the Vankari occupation, Earth spoke. One signal, one word. Begin. The stars flickered. Aboard the Vankari flagship, Admiral Kassar observed the planet's strange quiet. His facial crests twitched. The humans have not responded, he murmured. Not truly. No resistance, no riots, too calm. He turned to his xenolinguist. Their species bleeds noise. This silence, it's a trap. The linguist offered a slow blink. Perhaps fear has finally claimed them. No, Kassar growled. Fear speaks. This is something else. He was right, because deep in the crust of Earth, beneath a bunker lined with ancient stone and synthetic steel, Mara Lin stood before a blackened launch bay. No light, no logos, just dust and a countdown. Target uplink verified, a voice said behind her. We found their gate worlds, all of them. Mara exhaled. She hadn't spoken since Eli vanished. Not until now. Bring them back, she whispered, or burn it all. On the 43rd day, 3 Vankari outposts went dark. Not attacked, not bombed, gone. Sensor logs showed nothing but static. No weapons detected, just an expanding ring of silence, like gravity had collapsed inward and taken everything with it. Kassar sent reconnaissance drones. None returned. He consulted the archive. Of all the species they had invited, none had responded like this. Most folded. Some cried, a few resisted, and were crushed. But this? This was something old, something cold, something human. "Sir, we have intercepted transmissions," his aide stammered. "Encrypted. Earth origin. They reference something called Revenant Protocol." Kassar didn't blink. "Show me." The message crackled through their bridge. No image, just a voice. Female. Rough. Human. "You took our children." A pause. "So we took your stars." The Vankari called it the Harvest of Peace. 43 days ago, their motherships opened above Earth's skies. Now they drifted silent and still, waiting. Except the silence had changed. No more welcome messages, no more envoys with honeyed words, just watchful eyes. Tension and unease. They could feel it, even without their sensors. Something ancient had woken up, and it was hunting them. Deep in orbit above Luna's dark side, Mara Lin stood aboard the Wraith. The ship wasn't on any register. It didn't have an ID tag. It didn't need one. It had only one purpose: to go where no warship could go, and make sure no one came back. Mara sat alone in the cockpit. Her eyes were hollow, her jaw clenched. She wore a suit that didn't reflect light, didn't make sound, didn't even leave thermal traces. But it carried teeth, black hole rounds, zero-silica neural disruptors, and something else even the onboard AI refused to name. Behind her, a voice whispered, "Target gate confirmed. Coordinates match the Vankari nursery worlds, 67 child clusters, all active." She didn't blink. "Are there survivors?" she asked quietly. "Unknown. The Vankari preserve the young, not for kindness." Her knuckles whitened. "Take me there, now." Elsewhere, aboard the Vankari command fortress, Admiral Kassar stood before the High Council in a stream-fed communication pool. "The humans have deployed something," he said slowly. Council glimmered with disapproval. "They are primitives," one hissed. "Your fears insult the legacy of the Ascendants." Kassar stepped closer. "We have lost 12 gate stations, without trace, not even debris, not even radiation." A long silence. Then from the shadows, the eldest counselor rasped, "Initiate the searing. End this infestation." "That would mean open war." "No," the elder said. "It means extinction." But they were already too late, because the humans had found the Vault of Flame, a hollow moon where the Vankari stored the minds of abducted children, dreaming endlessly inside cold machines. There, Mara Lin stood with her rifle drawn, surrounded by the hum of sleeping consciousness. She could hear the whispers of their thoughts, echoes of lullabies, memories of mothers, and the echo of one word: "Mom." Her knees buckled. Eli. Her son was here. Not dead. Not gone. Just taken. She stared at the interface, her voice dry. "Can we free them?" The AI was silent for too long. "Uncertain. Their minds are intertwined. Pull one, and they all die. And if I sever the network, you will kill the system, but it will awaken them. They'll be in pain. Yes, but alive." A pause. She placed her hand on the trigger node, and then she pulled. Across Vankari space, alarms screamed. Entire gate chains blinked out. Nurseries went dark. Vaults cracked. And for the first time in generations, the children screamed, not in terror, but in rage. Because humanity wasn't here to beg. We had come to remember, and to make the galaxy remember us. On Earth, every continent went dark for 4 seconds, and when the power returned, so did the skies. No more silver ships, only ashes. In the Vankari fortress, Admiral Kassar stood frozen as his screen lit up with data corruption, system purges, and organics reawakening. What have they done? His officer turned, trembling. Human war signatures across 30 systems. Impossible, Kassar muttered. They don't have the infrastructure. But they did. Because humans didn't build war fleets like the Vankari. We built ghosts, ships that didn't ping, weapons that didn't glow, people who didn't come home. Back aboard the Wraith, Mara looked down at her console. Thousands of minds were awake now, scattered, frightened, but free. And somewhere, Eli whispered, "I knew you'd come." She didn't cry, not yet. Instead, she turned her ship toward the core worlds of the Vankari and said, "One more to go." The Vankari had never known defeat. For millennia, their fleets passed through galaxies like wind through wheat, smooth, silent, absolute. Civilizations fell not by fire, but by compliance. Their power wasn't in destruction. It was in the promise. Comply, and be elevated. Until Earth, until Mara, until the children screamed awake. The Council was in disarray. Crimson bands spiraled across their star charts. Dozens of nursery worlds, lost, gate rings, unresponsive. Entire thought hives, corrupted by emotional feedback from now conscious human minds. They had no protocol for this. Emotion had always been alien to them, unnecessary. They believed it was a flaw, something to be cleansed from evolution. But now that flaw had become a weapon. "They are corrupting the cores," one counselor hissed, "turning empathy against the lattice. Their minds are infectious. This is not war. It is contagion." And Admiral Kassar knew then, with a cold certainty, that the war was already lost. Not on the battlefield, but in belief. Because for the first time in Vankari history, the enemy had shown them pain. Real, terrifying pain. Meanwhile, in a forgotten star system, Mara Lin descended on a gas giant's moon. Her target, Nexum Prime, a Vankari deep vault planet where entire generations of abducted species were locked in stasis for long-term integration. Eli had come from here, so had millions more. She landed without sound. The Wraith's hull dissolved like mist, its presence vanished from sensors, and she walked, alone, invisible, invincible, into a place built to never be entered by anything not Vankari. Multiple containment signals detected, the ship's AI murmured, and one active Vankari overmind, higher class, not military. "Who is it?" she whispered. Designation, the Archivist. Inside the vault's core, the Archivist hovered above a glowing lake of memory threads. She was ancient, even by Vankari standards. Her body was fluid, light-bending, half data, half organism. She did not speak aloud. She projected. And when Mara stepped into the chamber, guns raised, rage on her lips, the Archivist greeted her. "You are the one they call Mara, mother of Unit 7F. Eli." Mara froze. "I kept him safe," the Archivist said. "You erased him," Mara growled. "You fed him dreams until he forgot me." "No," came the voice like ripples. "He never forgot. That's how we found you." Mara blinked. "What?" "He dreamed of Earth, every cycle, his signal, led us to you. For a moment, time stopped. Then the archivist did something no Vankari had done in recorded memory. She lowered her frame. A bow. I did not understand humanity. I thought you would break. I see now. You burn. I'm not here for an apology, Mara said. You came for vengeance, the archivist replied. But what if I gave you justice? High above, in orbit, Vankari dreadnoughts began to mobilize. They had seen enough patience, enough mercy. Now came the searing, a command given only once in 10,000 cycles. Sterilize the infected system, erase the planet, leave no trace. But they didn't know what Earth had done. Didn't know about the Ark Protocol. Because while Vankari watched Earth from above, humanity watched back, from beneath. Old satellites, dormant relays, cracked telescopes reawakened, and deep in a mountain carved by ancient hands, a voice whispered, "Launch the Ark." In 30 hidden locations across Sol, launch silos opened, not skyward, but outward. Subspace tears screamed open, and through them came the arcs, not ships, but ecosystem breakers, weapons wrapped in biology and grief, devices seeded with human DNA, history, memory, and wrath. They didn't fire lasers, they didn't drop bombs, they rewrote reality around them. Where they landed, Vankari architecture twisted, systems glitched, minds fractured, because the arcs didn't destroy, they humanized. On Nexum Prime, the archivist collapsed, her shimmering limbs dimming. "What have you done?" she asked, her voice flickering. "You called our children vessels," Mara whispered. "We called them ours. You are breaking everything." Good. And she walked into the lake of minds, surrounded by billions of glowing memories, and lit the final beacon. "Eli, come home." "From the stars," the Vankari screamed, "and from Earth." We answered. The lake shimmered. Glowing threads pulsed around Mara Lin's feet, billions of stored memories trembling in the wake of her presence. She stepped slowly, as if afraid to disturb ghosts. Each strand was a child, a life, a future stolen, rewritten, and archived. The beacon pulsed again, soft, then stronger. A voice, faint. "Mom?" She fell to her knees. "Eli." Her hand hovered over the activation node, fingers shaking. For a moment, everything disappeared. The war, the Vankari, even her vengeance. There was only her son. "It's okay," she whispered, tears slipping freely now. "I'm here." The lake pulsed again. One node lit gold. One. A boy's memories rose like mist. His first steps, his favorite music, the toy starship he refused to let go of. "They told me you wouldn't come," Eli said. "They lied," she choked out. I didn't forget. Not once. The system groaned. The memory field began to unravel. The archivist's fail-safes were failing. The other minds, tens of thousands, began to stir. Across the galaxy, the arcs had spread the signal, a single truth. Humanity had come for its own, and it wasn't leaving without them. Above Nexum Prime, the Vankari dreadnoughts aligned in attack formation. Their commanders screamed for a purge, but inside their ships, something had changed. Screens flickered, oxygen levels dropped, neural bands failed, and their crew began to remember. Images, smells, laughter, Human emotion was rewriting them. What Earth could not conquer with fleets, it conquered with memory. Back in the lake, Mara held her son. Not physically, not yet. But within the mesh of light and mind, she was with him. She could feel him breathing. "We're going home," she said. "But the others?" he asked quietly. "They're still scared." She looked around. So many lights, each one a child, a life lost in silence. She clenched her jaw. "Then we're all going home." She turned to the archivist, who was collapsing, flickering between forms, once brilliant, now cracking like glass under gravity. "You were never supposed to feel," Mara said softly. "I know," the archivist replied, almost gently. "But your son made me remember." "Remember what?" "What it means to love." Then the vault of flame, Nexum Prime's core, collapsed. Not in fire, but in release. One by one, children across Vankari space awoke, eyes opening, memories restored, minds their own again. And the Vankari? They stopped. Their fleets shut down. Their cities fell silent. Because for the first time in their long history, they understood what they had taken. And they understood that humanity had not come to negotiate. We had come to teach. On Earth, skies filled with streaks of silver, shuttles returning, children stepping out. Not all, not even most, but enough. Some cried, some simply looked at the sun and smiled. Mothers fell to their knees, fathers held sons who no longer remembered birthdays, but remembered voices. And in the middle of the field, standing in the wind, Mara Lin knelt as Eli walked toward her. Real, alive, home. He wrapped his arms around her. She dropped her rifle. There were no words left, only us. Later, when the galaxy asked how Earth had defeated the Vankari, no one believed the reports. They called it a myth, a ghost story. They spoke of memory bombs, echo warfare, and grief saturation tech. But the truth was simpler. We remembered who we were, and the galaxy, it never forgot again.